Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Out of Fashion TV, where we interview local artists, especially from the local open mic night scene, and also any gigs and stuff. And I'm very grateful today to have Matthew Corns.
Hello.
Welcome.
Right. Hey.
Can we shake with a right hand? Is that illegal? No?
Yeah, that's alright. Unless it's scouting, then it's left hand.
Alright, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I've been scouting the open mic night scene just to get someone like Matt to come here today. So yes, without further ado, I'm gonna pretend like I don't know you.
Okay.
So we're gonna play a little game, and it's called Matthew's musical background.
Alright.
It goes something a bit like this. Could you tell us a bit about your musical background?
Yeah, sure. Right. So, musical background. Well, where to start? So, basically, I'm an artist and a musician. So I do a lot of drawing and stuff. I've been doing that for as long as I remember. I've only been playing instruments since 2018, but I've been making music, electronic music, since about roughly 2010, 2011, but didn't call myself a musician at that point. But my family, I guess you could say, is musical. I played recorder when I was in school, but music was on the sidelines. I didn't really pay attention to it, mainly because I hadn't sort of discovered the music I liked. So when I thought music, I just thought like radio or stuff like that. I didn't delve deeper than that. But it was only until uni where I sort of decided I didn't just want to do artwork, and I wanted to do a bit more than that.
Yeah.
And so that's my background. Basically, only in the last few years been picking up a bit of bass, bit of guitar, and sort of like what's it? Yeah, it was around secondary school I got well into rock music as well. I think that was the point where I was like, right, I need to pick up an instrument after uni, which better late than never. So yeah.
Okay.
That's the background.
I like to ask all the artists this as well. What about your family? Are they musically literate?
If you could call an accountant, basically, no, yeah. No, my dad's an accountant, mum's a nurse. My mum has played the occasional flute and stuff, so I guess you could say musical sort of artistic attributes are from her, potentially. Definitely not my dad's side, no offence, Dad. But yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, great. So, are you releasing any singles? Do you have any upcoming releases?
I'm planning to eventually release a few more singles. Last singles I released were last year in the summer. I basically released 5 singles, 2 weeks apart from each. So that'd be over a 10-week period. They're singles for an album I haven't actually released yet, because initially I wanted to release this one album last year in roughly August time. But I decided very early on with that album, so this was at the end of 2020, that I wanted to eventually do a comic for it.
Yeah.
And I'll be releasing that on Bandcamp as a digital download with payment. But I didn't want to release the comic straight up. I wanted to release it at the same time as the album. So basically that album's been delayed until I finish the comic. And which doesn't help the fact that I've actually finished the material for the follow-up. But the idea is, once I finish this comic, I'll have a nice several-month period of constantly releasing stuff with decent gaps. A single, 2 singles for my 2 more singles for the album, and then once the album's released, then I'll eventually be like, oh yeah, I've got a new album going out, and voila, I'll start releasing. And like, I somehow pulled it out my pocket in the last few months, where actually I've been working on it for about 1.5 years. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm like that, because my music productivity seems to be a lot quicker than my art, because with my art I'm a very sort of, I'm just slow. Yeah.
Well, the slow's good. Slow's good. So I pretty much understand your vision now, but what about your work ethic when it comes to the music?
Work ethic.
Yeah.
Do you mean sort in the
Well,
sense
you know,
that
like, are you consistent at all? Do you do it regularly? I know, I understand you have a lot of other things going on in your life, but
I try to be as consistent as possible. For example, like day to day, doing a bit any bit of artwork or any bit of music. But it's weird when it comes to, like I said, the way I do artwork, the way I do music are sort of like different speeds and stuff. With music, I could come up with a really good idea that I want to record, and I'll just like, right, I'm focusing on that this evening or this morning, this afternoon, get that done, get it recorded, see you soon song, see you in a few months time when I'll re-record a few things, like I did recently. I re-recorded vocals for my second to next album. When it comes to the artwork, it depends. I try to do a bit every day, but sometimes because it takes so long, you just need to find that right day to just get a lot done, because it can take several hours. With music, it can take, for me, it's a lot quicker than several hours.
yeah, I bet. And what's your time management like?
Time management. Oh, yeah. That's the. I could say, depending on when I wake up, if I'm really good and sort of wake up nice and early, nice cup of tea, nice bacon sarnie, I might have quite a productive day. It really depends what I'm doing throughout the rest of the day. And I do actually, one thing that's good since my sort of grammar school background and my art university sort of background, I'm really good at sort of. I do keep a calendar of stuff I need to do and reminders. So I've constantly, like on my phone, got a list of like, right, these are the things I need to complete in the next few weeks. So I'm that sort of productive. But when I decide to do that stuff is up to me, because sometimes I do like working late at night. I'm still, I'm only 25, so I've still got the energy to sometimes.
Yeah, you do. That's right.
Like work late at night. Or even sometimes if I wake up early in the morning, sometimes I don't know how to explain it, but I sometimes feel that I've just got that I forgot how you say it, like that urge. So like if I've got that urge to suddenly do something, I think it'd be foolish not to do that. So for example, if I woke up today and thought like, right, let's get that poster done. I feel like doing that. I'm going to do it. It would be dumb to go like, that's a stupid idea, because I know for a fact that if I don't do it now, like, when would I? That's my ethic sort of thing. So, but at the same time, I don't know. I like to be quite laid back because I'm that sort of individual. So
yeah, that's good. Thanks for sharing that. Do you ever experience burnout at all from all that from all the things that you would like to get on with, and you know? Yeah.
For example, this comic, I've been delayed by it. I think that's the thing I've been boned out, if that's the word.
Burnout,
yeah. Yeah, I've just been worn out by that, mainly because I'm not a multitasker by any means. I hate multitasking and doing especially several drawings at the same time. So I've always tried to find time to do it when I'm not doing much else, and that's the hardest thing. But that's the only thing at the moment. If I'm really behind something and then suddenly more stuff comes up, it's then jiggling like, right, what do I prioritise? And sadly, the comic can wait a bit, because in my mind, something like that sometimes deserves more time, so that when it comes out, it's actually like, oh, good. Yeah.
I mean, like, so viewers, if you go on to Matt's Facebook and his social media, you can see that you post a video or something every day, and I absolutely admire his consistency. So, you know,
Yeah.
keep up the good work with that.
Cheers. Yeah, I try to occasionally put stuff. I don't try to do it every day. Like, if I can, that's good. Like, if I've got stuff to put up, I'll spread it out across several days, because as I'm quite busy, I don't want to constantly feel like I have to put something up. But having spoken to a lot of people a few years ago, I do see the importance of you know, staying relevant if I can. Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's what I do.
And before we go on to the next thing, the most funnest part, let me just remind you that here at Puffish Promotions, it's artists helping artists. So if anybody feels inspired by what Matt said about when he puts his plans and deadlines and stuff like that on his phone, then have a chat with him. I'll be asking him for the links to social media later. Right, okay, so you said that you got some singles and upcoming releases soon, and I'm just wondering if you could play one of those songs for us live.
Ooh.
And what would it be? What's it about? Decisions. Stroking my invisible beard.
It's awkward because I've basically released the singles for my next album last year, because I initially was going to release it until I found that I wasn't going to complete the comic in time, because I had so much. I could play something from that on the top of my head. Because, so, put simply, I'm trying to get, okay, cool. I have a 34-minute song at the end of my album called Dramatical Spring. It's split into 10 parts. It's basically this fantasy sci-fi story. And I realised when I did it, because I'm going into that, what some people might call pretentious, the sort of like progressive realm that I'm really into. I thought, right, the best way I can get this across, since I'm an artist, is in comic form. So if I release a comic with it and people can then explain the story, they can sort of see where I'm coming from artistically a bit more, rather than what is he on sort of thing. So I'll play a part of it. This song's called The Meeting of the Fairies and the Old Witch.
Oh yes, this one, yeah.
And it's basically so basically the story is sort of, I guess you could say, like Hansel and Gretel, but set in the future where humans have mutated. But it's about these kids that wander off into a forest that their elders have told them not to go in, and they go into this clearing in this like dreary forest. They can't find their way out, and they meet this witch who seems nice at first, but she's hiding her sinister motives of eating them, basically. It's so if I remember how to play it, that'd be good. So
what's the name of the song again?
The Meeting of the Fairies and the Old Witch.
The Meeting of the Fairies and the Old Witch by Matt Corns. Take it away. Woo!
But I tell
secrets of the forest and your existence in America. Do you wish to know? Yes, we want to know why we're stuck in America. What lies beyond this forest, and why did a troll kill our friend? Yeah, there you go. Off the top of my head, I didn't practice that earlier. So yeah, it's crazy sometimes how you remember certain songs, and that's part 6 of a 10-part story. And initially it wasn't going to be sort of big, but once I started coming up with different sort of motifs and different parts, I thought, how about I change the key in certain bits, and actually I've got a good story, let's sort of like work the story and the music together, and then I'll come up with something amazing. Yeah.
But aren't all prog rock songs supposed to be 10-20 minutes long?
Yeah, yeah. If none of you haven't realised from my Rush t-shirt, I'm very much into sort of progressive rock and a lot of metal as well. So that's basically where my stance comes from with my music. Basically, just longer compositions, and but basically, in my mind, being a bit more interesting. But what I've tried to do with a lot of my material, since I knew from the beginning that doing the sort of music I'm doing isn't put it this way, the norm sort of thing. A lot of people won't get it. You constantly thinking up of ways to sort of make the music accessible without sort of diminishing what you're trying to achieve. So a simple way I go about it is lyrics. Since I need to remember how to sing them, I like doing a lot of repetition with the lyrics. So for one of my songs, like Bring Back the Summer, I'll repeat several phrases and it's a bit more singable. Even though the song's not necessarily very proggy, it's almost got sort of like a funky disco-y sort of like mood. But it's because I always thought like, right, if I make the lyrics sort of like, at least in some parts, singable, sort of catchy, people can then sort of get into it. I'm always trying, and same thing with the artwork, it's just thinking of different ways to get people into this sort of style of music, which I really like. Because another thing is trying to turn people onto what I like as well, without sort of slagging off what other people do, sort of thing.
I mean, I personally, I can personally appreciate your music a lot more than the prog rock stuff that I've heard. I mean, I totally appreciate King Crimson and a bit of Yes, and
yes, all the classics.
Would you say Wishbone Ash or prog rock?
Yes, I'll put them in that category, although I haven't properly listened to a lot of them. I'd say they belong pretty much in that camp.
Yeah. So if you like those kind of bands, viewers, then I'm very certain that you'll like the music of Matt Collins as well. And on that note, I'm not sure which question to ask next. Might as well ask you this. So have you got any upcoming gigs or future goals?
Yes, so I'll start with gigs. So I had to check it up on my phone. I'm playing at this charity family festival called Family Fest 2022. It's outside Wimborne in East Dorset, if you didn't know. It is, let me see, 26th of June. So it's on the 25th and 26th, a weekend of June this year, but I'm playing on the Sunday, at the moment, 4 o'clock if nothing changes. Initially, I wanted to bring some of my bandmates along and make it more of a band thing.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
But because it's out in the field, and I have had at least one experience with playing in the field where the people renting out the stage get the smallest one possible, I know it's going to be really awkward fitting several bandmates on, so
Yeah.
I thought, right, let's just do a solo one with my acoustic, keep it simple, all on bass.
I've played a few of those before, and I reckon you should definitely bring your backing tracks and the bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. And another event coming up is Thursday, the 5th of May, I think I've got that right, at the Bar Obsidian in Boscombe.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Obsidian.
Yeah, I'm planning on, well, it's going to be 2 hours, I think between like 8:30, 10:30. Basically, it's just more time for me to play my stuff on acoustic guitar and electric bass. Whenever I'm playing bass, because that's my main instrument, I'm always, well, I've only recently started playing bass at things like open mics and stuff, only because I saw a certain Lizzie King, when I first saw her play through her backing tracks, something just clicked with me last year, and I thought,
yeah, that inspired me as well.
Yeah, I thought, why am I not doing that? Why am I picking up the guitar to get some of my songs across? I could just keep playing bass and then just play my recordings. That's just brilliant. And
shout out to Lizzie King.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Cheers, Lizzie. So yeah, that's the gig I've got coming up. It's basically just, I'm glad the people at Obsidian manager said yes to me doing that, because I want time to actually play all my stuff, because honestly I've got I don't want to brag and say I've got so many songs, but I've got enough to fill 2 hours, put it that way. Not that particular song, because I wouldn't want to play like a 34-minute piece, or at least bits for me, because I don't see the point. It's one of those songs I came up with which is better in recorded form. How
long was the recorded version?
Recorded version? Of the song Dramatic Spring in all its entirety. Oh, it's about 34 minutes, 2 seconds or something. It's quite long. And which is, it's funny, because the second to next album I've done the complete opposite. I've been writing short songs like 2 minutes and stuff. It really depends like how much substance I think my idea's got, whether it should be short and sweet or should be longer. Future goals, you said, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, basically my future goal is to release these two albums nicely. I don't want to rush.
Where would you like to release them?
Right. I know for a fact they'll be released on my Bandcamp account as well as my Spotify account, as well as I'll be releasing some lyric videos for my album. So if you check my social media, you'll know some more music's coming up, because I do my own videos for them, so like a lyric video or something, so you can sort of like see the artwork I do. That's another thing that you know as well. People watching this might not know. I do the artwork for my music as well, so the covers and stuff. So I'll be doing that. Future goals is basically just to get all my stuff I've already done out the way, because I don't want to start. Even though I've already started writing even more music, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, because like I've said before this interview, I'm quite productive, a lot more productive musically than I am artistically, even though they're technically the same thing, but when it comes to like drawing and stuff. So I don't want to go further down the rabbit hole writing too much stuff when I'm behind on the art stuff. And plus it gives me more time to fresh up my ideas, because I know for a fact when I come to writing more music, since I've been actually, I've already started doing it anyway, but my main goal as well with the next albums I do, the next music I do, is I'm always trying to improve the way I record and stuff without worrying about it too much. So for example, a few years ago I'd be like, oh, just record it, and then down like, okay, let's improve that, rather than actually that's another thing, and this could technically go into the next question, but getting into music, I guess artworks, art is the same thing.
Yeah.
You get bogged down. I constantly feel bogged down by this notion that people are telling you, like, I almost get the impression that there's some people out there that are like, right, you can't like do this, you can't draw until you've mastered how to draw like the human anatomy like 100% perfect or something.
Yeah, that's happened to me once.
Or when it comes to music, you can't, like, until you've actually perfectly set up your home recording studio, then you can record music. I get this impression of like, it. I don't know how to explain it, but obviously
exhausting.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
You've got to somehow but yeah, back to that sort of a side note. But yeah, future goals are basically, when I record more music, I want to work with new musicians. So last like 2 albums that I haven't put out yet, I've got guest musicians on there. Like
if you need a violinist, let me know.
Oh yeah, I will. So two chaps from America, but basically local musicians, and yeah, some people I've met on social media basically. So the idea is basically just to work with more people, see what fits, and so that on my music you're not just getting the same old. There's a few different like flavors, and but then it's working out like who works better on like what song sort of thing. But I know for a fact every time I do new music, I almost not want to rewrite myself, but want to do something completely different. For example, I've played at a lot of these open mics a lot of songs that aren't even released yet. For example, there's a song called Bad Charlie, which you know quite well. That particular song, I want to write some stuff similar to it, but it's one of those songs where I'm like, I always feel like the moment I do a song like that, or I've had this with other songs like Bring Back the Summer, I want to almost do the complete opposite or just go away from that, because you don't obviously want to, I think pigeonholing not the best word to use, because I definitely want to continue writing. I don't have to explain music, but the different, what do you call it, areas I'm sort of like considering all the time is like, I've got the sort of like prog rock sort of like inspirations. I've got the extreme metal stuff I listen to, and I guess some of the stuff comes across as punky, I don't know. But then I've got my sort of chiptune video game soundtrack style inspirations.
Like chiptune sort of thing?
Yeah. And then
sick.
Because I used to do a lot of video game style music, which is actually on my Spotify. Just type Matthew Corns.
Matthew Corns, 2 O's.
Yeah. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, and I also like a lot of sort of like this like jazz funky fusiony stuff. So that sweeps into my music when it comes to sort of certain like chord shapes sometimes. So I'm always like looking at all these different influences and trying to sort of combine them rather than like going down completely down one end sort of thing. So to be fair, at the same time, I don't know what my end goal is. Like, I'll just like keep on like doing different things and seeing what sticks.
I feel inclined to ask you this question just from what you shared with us there. Define success.
Success.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment, it will be
because you seem to ooze of it already. Like, your consistency, like how often you post on social media and stuff. I just feel like this person is really going to be successful very soon. Same as Lizzie.
Yeah, I honestly feel like my definition of success, at least in my life at the moment, is basically seeing things through to the end. Because obviously, like you know this, other people, it's like you know a lot of artists and musicians that basically go halfway and stop, put it that way. And like I you know see this all the time. Like we know a few people. Like I've seen a few people who will be like, right, I've written this song. It's rubbish. Never mind. I'm not doing anything with it. Not saying like that. I'm not slag them off because it's understandable, you know, self-critical sort of thing. And this could go into the advice bit as well. But yeah, my view of success is I always like to think, because I've surrounded myself with like different people across in my life. I don't know, I'm just 25, but when you see other people that have a good idea but then don't go further it for whatever reason, probably not their fault, we're busy and stuff. It's like so. My definition of success is just have an idea, stick with it, get it done, no problem. So with my album, it might look like I'm being lazy, not have it delayed it for 6 months or something. But the idea is I'm seeing it through to the end. I haven't deserted it because I couldn't do that to myself. I couldn't like release something and be like, I wanted to do a comic for that. I've got to stick with it, sort of thing. Yeah. And yeah, I don't like giving advice because I've always seen myself as like the youngest, not the youngest in society, sort of like the not qualified to give advice because I feel like I should want to give advice. But I'd say basically just stick with what you're doing, have an idea. So for example, I'm doing this comic. It would be foolish for me personally if I said, "Oh, actually, I'm not going to do it anymore." Especially when you're halfway, and even though this could go like a bit technical with like drawing and stuff, I'm always conscious about the colours and the darkness, lightness, and the saturation I use. I'm always conscious because you never know how well a drawing's going to look until it's all done, especially because my compositions are quite complex because of backgrounds and stuff and different layers. But so I'm always like, oh, is this going to look good? But then you just got to sort of stick through and yeah, I could talk about it for longer, but yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. And going back to the success thing, I'm sure there are a lot of artists out there who are probably saying to themselves, "Oh, I can't afford to. I don't have the financial backing. I don't have the transport." What do you think about that sort of thing? How what would your answer be for that kind of mindset?
Yeah, I'm immediately thinking of the music stuff. Oh yeah, my tea's gone. I'm definitely thinking of not music stuff. When people say, "Oh, I can't do those sort of drawings because I can't afford a tablet." That's even though it's not music, but it's that's where I hear that a lot. But there's always like. I don't know. There's always alternatives. It seems like with music, like I guess the first thing is like if you're a completely newbie sort of thing, is like getting your first instrument and stuff. For example, I'm surprised I picked a decent bass as my first bass because I went into it clueless, and it was only 3 months down that I joined a band, and they sort of like helped me up to speed with like what's what sort of thing in a way. But don't say I'm an expert. But oh dear, my stomach's rumbling. I actually did have some food earlier, so that's surprising. Yeah. What was the question again? I've lost my train of thought.
It seems like a very common mindset that an artist has, especially a music artist, is, "Oh, I can't afford it. I don't have the transport. I don't have any financial backing." What would your answer be for that, so that they can?
I guess if you surround yourself with
words of encouragement.
Yeah, I guess if you so that was a bit of a sidetrack down the art. I hear that all the time in art.
No, that's good. That's good.
In music, I guess if you surround yourself with the right people, it's hard because I've been fortunate where I got a decent job. I earn a decent bit. So for example, a few months ago, I could be like, "Oh, I can get this 700 quid bass I really want, no problem." But obviously I know some people aren't in that situation where like even something like 300 quid or something is like, "Oh, for that's a bit too much." I guess if you surround yourself with good family members or good friends or other musicians, like actually that's another thing, other musicians, because put it this way, I feel that if I hadn't been like doing good financially in the last few years, like as in like not at all, I'd like to think that with the people I've met and the basses I've seen, you know, I'm almost saying as if like all the basses I've seen, like all the girls I've seen like basses, all the basses I've seen, all the beautiful basses. I feel like all the instruments I've seen, that because a lot of musicians, like we tend to pick up like secondhand stuff, or like for example, I'll go around with mates and they'll be like, "What's that doing over there?" It's like, "Oh, it's a bass, I don't use it." "Oh, you can have it if you want," and I'll say, "No, I don't." Like situations like that, I almost feel that if you surround yourself with the right people, you'll come across like a second-hand instrument and be like, they'll be like, "Oh, you can have that if you want." I'll be like, "Oh, cool, sweet." So that's one way. In so picking up an instrument, and then I guess what you're saying as well is when people are like, "Oh, I can't do this because I don't know where to play" or something. But then obviously there's like, you know, open mics, and then occasionally, hopefully through that, you meet the right people, gigs. I almost well recently I've struggled because the people that do a lot of the bookings for gigs are the completely like almost like outsiders from like the management and the ownership of like certain places. So it's really awkward to find like the right person to talk to. But when you find the right person, I'm going off tangents here, but
no, it's good.
my music.
Yeah, that's good. That's good though. But yeah, I'm as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be getting quite serious as a promoter for Jacked Up and Live monthly live music nights at Obsidian. So
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
Okay, right. Due to the time, I want to ask you 2 more questions. So, my favourite question being, what do you think of the local music scene? Be brutally honest, please.
It's hard to tell. From what I've seen, I'll be blunt, I feel like in some cases I stick out like a sore thumb, but that's only...
I feel the same way.
But I feel that's only because of where I play, for example, at the open mics I go to, because I don't tend to do the... I don't want to slag off at anybody, but I don't tend to write very country sort of bluesy stuff, which is a lot more, what's the word, I guess accessible or like digestible, I think is another good word.
Audience friendly.
Yeah, audience friendly, yeah. That being said, when I look up on the internet, I do find there are like bands from around this area in sort of the Paul Board, Christchurch, East Dorset area, that don't, like, especially in the rock realm, like I for example, I know like there's a hard rock band in the area, but I've never met them, sort of thing. So it's hard to judge the area where you haven't met every single musician in the area. Like I know for a fact there's a singer called Ross in this band, this progressive metal band I like called Haken. His family lives in the Bournemouth area, but it's hard to tell. But with the people I've surrounded myself in, I stick out, yeah. But I wouldn't change that. It's it is what it is. You know, yeah.
Do you think there's enough support for original artists on the live music scene around here?
No.
What do you think could be? What do you think? Perhaps Fish Promotions could do about that.
Reason why I immediately said no was, well, it's a no with a question mark, really, because Bournemouth seems to be, because I'm from Poole put it this way, well, I guess this is to do with the history with Bournemouth, getting bigger and basically all the nightlife basically going all basically transferring across to Bournemouth. So basically Bournemouth is a lot more, you know, university youth friendly, so of course it's going to be a lot more sort of original music orientated. But in the sort of like Paul area, I have no chance. None of these pubs or places want original music. They just want 80s tribute bands and stuff. And so that's why, as I say to one of my old mates who you know, is way older than me and knows when Border Crusher stuff were in Hampshire, basically. Whenever I go across the border, I'm always, I go over to Bournemouth for stuff a lot, because a lot of these bars and stuff are more open to original music, which I like. But then at the same time, you can't blame places, especially Paul, which are a lot more traditional, you can't blame people for not accepting original music, because people are comfortable with what they like, put it that way, and, you know, money and stuff, and, you know, not everybody wants to hear people, not everybody's open up to hearing new stuff, put it that way, but at the same time you can't blame them for that, because, yeah, you know,
we're people, just a bunch of programs.
Yeah, is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think, living with that and just accepting that, and that's
doing
why
it for you, not for something.
Exactly, and that's another thing as well. Is some other advice that I've been told before a few years ago as well, and it's something I do as well. Is not relying. As musicians, we can't rely on solely, or I should say attempting to play live, because well, basically put stuff on the internet, basically social media, like put videos, like for example, because I'm an artist and a musician, I'm like, why not do both? I post a lot of my music and art and stuff, stay relevant, and then hopefully somebody in the area notices that, or something nationally or internationally. So yeah, you've got, that's the advice I'd give, is basically keep up your social media presence. Actually, I met a musician, forgot her name, lovely girl, met her a few weeks ago, and I was shocked. I think she was a soul singer. I was shocked when she told me that she wasn't on social media at all, and I could understand when I first saw she answered that question. She probably meant, oh, she probably doesn't use it personally, as in to chat to friends and stuff. That's understandable. Some people don't like stuff like Facebook. That's fine. But she meant she's not on the internet at all, as in, oh, you don't have a website. I don't have a website, but you're not on Instagram stuff. You're not posting stuff what you do, so people can see. And then this is what she said, and because we were talking about a lot of like classic rock acts, basically, and believe it or not, somebody younger than me, and she said, "Oh, if Pink Floyd and Jimi Hendrix can go famous without the internet, so can I," or something like that, along those lines.
I had that mindset for a while as well, actually.
Okay.
Probably still does.
Yeah, fair. And it's like, fair enough, but I've got to the point now where, you know, you can't, well, even a few years ago I knew this, but it's like, you can't neglect the power of the internet, or like as long, you don't have to even post that much. At least you could, all you have to do is, like, I don't know, post occasional stuff in, and then you can at least say you've got some sort of presence then, because that's the world we live in. But yeah, it's annoying. To be fair, the point she has as well, it goes back to the idea that, oh, if we were, for example, if somebody like me was around at the right time, let's say, let's count, like, let's just say 50 years ago or something, the music scene would have been a lot different in certain like cities around the country, so it would have been a lot easier perhaps to get like a gig or something. So yeah, it's hard, but basically just keep up with the internet, use it, and yeah. I don't know. I'll give up there.
That's good though. That's good. That's good. If only we had more time today. So before I ask you for your links, which I will put on the video, would you mind giving us some feedback, as in the Ad Fashion TV interview itself and what you know of Puffish Promotions?
I think the interview's been fine. The questions have been fine. Nothing I'd say like is missing. It's all you want to hear from a musician. That's fair enough. Yeah, I pretty much all I know about Puffish is basically what you said. Basically, I like following on Instagram and stuff, and whatever you've sent me or post, I reshare, and always like this. This is another thing. It goes without saying, but whenever I like use somebody else's image, I'm always like, right, I've got to add them in, or else it'll look like I've got like some sort of like secret like photographer or something. And yeah.
Any way that we can improve or make it more interesting or anything like that in the future, more audience friendly?
I think doing interviews like this are fine. Audience friendly. If you wanted to get the audience involved, first thing that came to my head was a Q&A, but then that would involve promoting the live thing, like, oh, I'll be talking to so and so, let's say Lizzie Keane or something again, and being like, oh, we're gonna have a Q&A and ask her about where she bought her mic from or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking it's off my head, but
no, that'd be good though. Like for example, down in the basement at Obsidian, and like get loads of people sitting in there, and for example, I'd be interviewing you on a nice faux leather chairs or something, and people can fire questions at you.
I think that could.
I can really visualise that in the future.
I think that could work really well, as long as it's, I think, with something else. Like for example, like if
an evening with Matthew Corns.
Yeah. For example, like if it was like a Q&A with me or something, I feel like it would have to be intertwined with me doing like a performance of sorts, or at least with other people, because I feel that at this point I'm not interested and worthy enough. You can easily.
Oh, you definitely are, in my eyes.
Well, I feel that not a lot of people would go to QA immediately off the bat to see me, unless it was for something else, like, oh, Matt's going to perform a bit, and then there's going to be Q&A. Because I think if people just turned up to a Q&A, they're going to be like, oh, he's not performing. Obviously, I know a lot of musician
we
Q&As.
already have our open mic night circuit, and I was counting about how many people turned up to the first basement thing at Obsidian the night. It must have been 20 people, something like that.
If you count the people in the smoking area.
I wouldn't want to do that. So yeah, thank you very much for coming to the show, and before we go, would you mind sharing your links with us?
Yes, if I remember them, but honestly, if you just go onto Spotify, type Matthew Corns, so it's MATTHEW, then CORNES. So it's spelt Corness but pronounced Corns. So that you'll go onto my Spotify and you can check out all my albums from 2013 onwards. I've done 9, so basically I've got the 10th and 11th in store. And what else was I going to say? A lot of people use Linktree to put their links on, so if you just go Linktree/Matthew Corns, you can find the stuff there.
Yes.
Yeah, and Bandcamp, just search Matthew Corns. You'll find my stuff on Bandcamp as well if you want to buy it. Instagram, Matthew Liam Corns, because I have a middle name which is Liam, which I don't use a lot. But if you put
This
that
is not Noel.
yeah. So Matthew Liam Corns on Instagram. You can see what I post there. Matthew Corns, artist and musician on Facebook. With my personal one, I'm not too bothered at this point. And YouTube, Matthew Corns, where I put some videos. You could also see some animations I used to do. That's something I stopped doing because animation is even more so than the art I do now. So I'm happy I gave that up. Yeah. So just check out those social medias and sites. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Okay, and thank you everybody for watching and supporting. Don't forget that if you'd like to come on the show, then do get in touch with me at Pufferfish which is spelled Puffa. Pufferfishpromotions@gmail.com, or let me know on Facebook or YouTube or something. And that's it for today. Thank you very much.
Yeah.